Hello everyone, welcome back to IT Industry Tutorials. So in last video we have covered about include and exclude in TestNG, and in today's video I am going to cover very important topic from TestNG perspective, from the interview perspective, and from all the perspective for which we are preparing for the TestNG. So that is groups, TestNG groups. So before going further, if you haven't seen my last video, the include and exclude video, that how we can include and exclude the methods in TestNG, then please go to the channel and watch that video, because here in this video I am going to take that concept a bit and going to describe it further. Okay, so if you haven't subscribed the channel yet, then please subscribe the channel, click on the bell icon so that you will be keep updated yourself, and please like the video and share as much as you can. So let's just start. So basically, TestNG groups. First of all, why we have to use groups in TestNG, why they have introduced groups in TestNG. So if I will go about a text documentation, that what are the groups means in a TestNG, then it's like we don't want to define test methods separately in different classes, and at the same time we want to ignore some of the test cases. Okay, that is why we group few methods, and use that group and include that group to run only those specific methods. So I will describe you in a brief of that as well, but that was a basic definition. So what groups actually means in TestNG. So suppose I will take an example of test cases. So suppose I have 100 test cases of regression. Okay, so now we got a functionality where we have to perform only sanity test cases that include only 20 to 30% of test cases out of the total regression. So now if we have made a group specifically for that sanity test cases, then what we can do, we can just execute that group. So what that will going to do for us, that will just perform perform all those test cases from that particular group only. So that means that we do not need to perform all the 100 test cases over there, but we will just perform only those 30 to 40 test cases depending upon the requirement. What will it going to do it for us? It will save a lot of time for us. How? We do not run all the 100 test cases and check for that. If we know that the changes are for specific modules only, or there are no too much changes, so we have just created the group for that pages or that changes. So we have created a sanity method or login method group or something like that. So we can just run those test cases, and we can make sure that everything working fine on the basis of that. Okay, so how we can create groups? So it is quite easy. I will just show you here. So till here, I have described each and everything in my earlier videos related to TestNG, that how we can create TestNG XML and how we can differentiate the classes in that. Okay, if you haven't seen that, then please again go and watch all the videos, because I am not going to describe them again, all the things that I have described earlier, but I am just continuing with this. Okay, so in earlier tutorials as well, I have created these three classes, and in these three classes I have created different methods here as well. Okay, so now suppose I want to perform sanity. So suppose I have 100 of test cases in this class, 100 of test cases in this class as well, and same with in a third class. But now what I want to perform for the sanity part, I want to perform first test case from this class. Okay, second test case from this class, and again third test case from this class. So for that I will create a group and include these test cases for that specific group only, and after that I will include that group in my TestNG XML and just perform or execute that group only. Okay, so what it will going to do in that, after that it will perform this test case from the first class, this test case from the second class, and this test case from the third class. So it is very easy to define a group. After @test annotation, we just have to define the group. Okay, group, and we have to provide the name of the group. So suppose I'm providing the name here, Sanity. Okay, so Sanity is a group name of mine here. Yes, groups. Okay, so now I have created. Okay, so what it means? It means that it created a group. I am making a group, and I am giving it a name of Sanity. Okay, now what I want to do, I want to include other test cases from other different classes as well in under this group only that I have mentioned. Okay, okay, so I have created this test case under the group Sanity only. Now this one. Okay, so that was our requirement earlier. Okay, so we have to perform these three test cases from these three different classes. Okay, to make sure the groups it will perform on the basis of group only, the test case on the basis of group only. Now under the test, okay, what I have to do, I have to perform the groups. Okay, under this group we have to run the group. Okay, under this we have to include what, we have to include the group name. So what is the group name here? It is Sanity. Okay, as we can see it here, it is Sanity. So we just need to include this here. Now what I will have to do just now, so that's it. Okay, so now if I will just right click here and run this, what it will going to do, it will perform the test cases on the basis of this group only. So it will check in this group that what I have included. It will check that I have included a group with the name of Sanity, and then it will check in my test cases that what test cases including the name as a group, as a Sanity group name as a Sanity. So let me show this to you guys. Run as TestNG suite. Okay, okay, here it is. Perfect. So it ran only these three test cases and it provided me a result. So let me show you guys here in a console as well. So it ran the first test case, third and fifth. Okay, so you can check it here as well in our outputs. So that was the fifth, third and first. Perfect. Okay, so now what it does, it perform on the basis of groups. So suppose uh, I have for this test case, specifically to this test case, it comes under a multiple groups. Okay, so suppose it comes under a Sanity group as well as under a login group. Okay, so what I have to do now, I have to provide it a role where it can come under Sanity group. Okay, as well as under login group. So I will define it like this. Okay, now this test case come under Sanity group as well as in under login group. So if I will run either the Sanity group here or the login group, this test case execute both of the times. Okay, let me show you guys here. So I am just using now, I am just changing the group name login. So what in this case, what it will going to perform, it will going to perform only this test case. Okay, it will going to execute only this test case. Why? Because this is the only test case which comes under login group. Okay, okay, no other test case going to come under the login group, but this is the only test case. Okay, so with the help of this, with the help of these braces, we can include one test case under multiple groups as well. Okay, so that is very much beneficial. Going further, we can see that as well. Okay, in our examples. Yeah, so let me just run this and show this to you guys. Okay, perfect. Okay, so you can see this, it ran this test case successfully. Okay, so you need to practice a bit about this, that how we can include groups, and about the basic things in that. So there will be a lot of there are a lot of questions the interviewers asked, okay, in interviews related to the groups. So I will discuss that in my further videos as well, but this is a basic about the groups that you have to go through and get yourself familiar with. Okay, so yeah,